So 15 to go. Ryan Newman to the lead. Not quite, but almost.
Just had Michael McDowell trying to get on pit road and missed pit road, locked the brakes up, really slowed. Denny Hamlin is on pit road.
I'll tell you, this can be a stretch for these cars because Brad Keselowski went 57 laps at Kansas, the same size track, to win there and was just about out of fuel. And Harvick went the same amount, 57 laps at Charlotte earlier this year.
Denny Hamlin, one of those who had not stopped yet, he's in.
To finish that up at 63 laps that Newman and Burton would have to go to make it.
That moves Tony Stewart up to 7th. Stewart 11 seconds behind now. This for the lead between Newman and Burton. Well, let's talk about this saving fuel thing just for a second in a little further detail. These guys all know, the crew chiefs and the engineers, the mile per gallon that they get at a certain lap time. They have that all calculated out. So Burton and Newman are trying to race for the lead, know the pace they have to run to make it to the finish on fuel, and watch back to Tony Stewart and make sure they can stay in front of him. There's Michael McDowell in the 18 car. And there was that missed entry to pit road.
That's the commitment cone.
So McDowell back underway and running 3 laps down in 32nd spot in his sub for Kyle Busch today. So all those things at play here in this whole scenario of how this is going to finish, Andy.
Well, the problem you got right here is these two guys are racing each other pretty hard, and they're going to run each other out of fuel if they keep running that hard. It'd be nice if you had a little bit of lead to play with where you could back off.
Brian Vickers, one of the guys who had not stopped yet, in. With a lot of laps to go.
Yeah, what I've seen from Ryan Newman here is once he got past Jeff Burton, he's back down a little bit on his lap time. Not a whole lot, but I think he just got by enough and is able to slow down. But his owner, Tony Stewart, coming pretty hard. Tony's gotten by Brad Keselowski, moved up to the 4th spot now. Still over 9 seconds back of the leader, Ryan Newman.
All clear to pit road.
Newman's going to pit here.
Okay, now Jeff Burton can slow up a little bit. If he'd have known that, he could have slowed up a long time ago if he knew that Newman was going to make a pit stop.
And Newman's not going to be the only one to pit. 10 laps to go. Newman comes in, followed by Mark Martin. And let's cover the leader stop, Doc.
Yeah, after losing a couple laps for an unscheduled pit stop for a loose wheel, Newman stayed out and milked it as much as they could. They had to pit this lap or they would run out of gas. It was going to be gas only. They decided to go ahead and put right side tires on him while he's here, down and away.
So that leaves Jeff Burton as the only guy to not pit. Dave?
With Luke Lambert down here, Luke and the engineers have been going back and forth. Luke, how close is it going to be? It's going to be really close. We just hope we saved a number of the course of this run to make it work. And you fixed your race car, too. Yeah. We had a long day. We've been flying a lot, but Caterpillar Chevrolet team's worked hard. They worked hard to be a great time to see Jeff Burton get his 3rd win at this Texas Motor Speedway, Alan.
He's got about 7 seconds to play with right here. He could slow up quite a bit. He hasn't slowed up as much as I would like to see him if I was Luke.
8 laps to go. That was the gap. Burton to Stewart. 6.4 seconds.
He's back now to losing only about a half a second. He had a few laps there to where he was losing 9/10 to a full second. Let Tony close way down, but Tony's got a lot of lap traffic to deal with, so his lap times aren't quite as good now.
6-second lead, 8 laps to go. He can give up a lot more than he is giving up.
That's what I said. I'd want to give it all up if I could, just to make sure I could make it. So not all of it. We'll give up maybe up to a second.
Sorry, Andy. Stewart Edwards back-to-back on the racetrack. 2nd and 3rd. Terrific championship that these two have engaged in. All the fun words after the Martinsville win by Stewart last week and here at Texas, and yet they're running 2nd and 3rd on the racetrack. One of the other chasers, Brad Keselowski, on pit road late, Doc.
Yeah, by far the best run he has ever had in his young career here in Texas. Brad Keselowski coming in 2 right side tires, going to get 1 can of fuel to make it these final 7 or 8 laps, guys.
That'll be pretty costly there.
Yeah, I think this is pretty pretty slim chance this 31's going to make it to the end. They're taking a big gamble, but hey, they don't have anything to lose. There's Kim Burton, his wife.
Do the math for me. Do the math for me.
Oh, she's nervous.
Good for me. We get by the half. I'm out. I'm out.
Oh, that's it. Not even close. 5 laps to go.
Come on in here. We're going to splash it off.
No, just doing the numbers. It just didn't make it.
5 to go and past the pit entry, and he's got to coast all the way around the racetrack if he makes it back.
Yeah, now it becomes Tony Stewart there. With Carl Edwards, you see 3 cars in between them.
So, Tony Stewart back to the lead. 4 laps away from another win. A man who hadn't won all season long until the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup started. Said at one point, we shouldn't even make the chase. We'll just be taking up the spot.
Check this out.
Carl Edwards.
That was a close call for Carl.
Boy, it sure was, and took away any chance he probably had of trying to run Tony Stewart down.
There's Regan Smith there with Carl. Stewart dominating this race. He has spent 170 of 331 laps out in front. There was a race earlier this season where Tony dominated and lost. It was at Las Vegas, the 3rd race of the season. Strategy late. Stewart went from dominating to somehow losing out to Carl Edwards. The only race all season Edwards has won.
I'll tell you what, when this chase started, he made his mind up he was going to win it. And I don't think anybody can stop him right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that didn't see him winning 4 of the first 8 races in the chase, right?
I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm just checking. I didn't think a lot of people saw that, but boy, how dominating has this been? It's going to be twice he's been back-to-back victories in the chase if he can hold on here for a couple of laps.
And Kurt Busch on pit road with a late stop. The white flag flying for Tony Stewart as he comes off of turn number 4, 1 lap away from victory.
White flag here. White flag. Bring it home.
Stewart started this championship with a win at Chicagoland, backed it up the next week with a win at New Hampshire, then had the terrible race at Dover where he finished 25th. Not all that impressive at Kansas, 15th, but then 8th at Charlotte, 7th at Talladega, the winner at Martinsville last week, and a dominator today. He'll gain ground, not a ton, as Carl Edwards is going to finish 2nd. But with his 4th win in 8 tries in his bid for the championship, Tony Stewart takes the checkered flag at Texas. Carl Edwards finishes 2nd. And the championship goes on to its final 2 races with the top 2 separated by 3 points. 3 positions on the racetrack.
It's going to be fun.
How good is that, though? With all the talk and everything that happened.
Great job, guys. Awesome pit stop at the end. That did it, man.
All week, these drivers have talked a little fun.
This championship within 3 points. Tony Stewart is your winner. All the pageantry, the confetti, Eddie Gossett doing a great job here. Tony, the guys in the booth said, you made up your mind. You're going to win this championship. How much of it is mind over matter at this point?
I told you guys that last week. Nobody listens to me when I'm talking.
Oh, we listen.
So, no, I mean, we're set on it, man. I mean, this is just the way it's going to be. So, I got, this is for the Wallace family and Mr. Hendrick and his wife. After last week, they had a long week, and had a buddy that passed away when we were in Charlotte, Jim Duffer, a real close friend of mine, and forgot him last week, and I didn't want to forget about him this week. But, man, just do not count us out of this thing. I can tell you that. We did everything we could do today. So, just got to thank Office Depot and Mobile One and Coca-Cola and Chevy and Mac Tools and Burger King, Tornadoes, U.S. Army, House Automation.
I normally don't even make it that far in the list, so I did pretty good tonight.
Tony, take us inside that race car. All the calls, when to come, when to take two, when to make adjustments. You guys stuck with it. You guys were a true team, you and Darian Grubb today. How good of a job did he do?
Darian did an awesome job. I mean, it's hard to know what to do from in the car, and he's made the right calls the whole chase, and it was like we told DJ on that restart, if I could get the restart on him and get ahead of him, I thought we could stay there. So that was the difference, and the guys had an awesome pit stop at the end. I mean, if they wouldn't have had that pit stop, we wouldn't be here.
Tony, nobody has ever gone winless in the regular season and come out and won the championship. You were on your way. 3 points within Carl Edwards. What do you have to say to your competition this week?
I don't think we have to say anything. I think our performance today spoke for itself, so he knows already, trust me.
And still the points leader, but the runner-up today, Carl Edwards. And Carl, first of all, what did you say to Tony when you stuck your head in the window when he came by?
I just told him good job. He did a great job today. Those guys stepped it up. And I'm proud of my guys for hanging on and for still having the points lead. At the end of the day, we're going to the final 2 races, and although we'd have loved to have won today on our Aflac Fusion, to be 3 points ahead and then to have the 3rd and 4th place guys farther behind, it looks like it's truly going to come down to Tony and I, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Where did you guys come up a little bit short today? I know you battled some right front tire issues, but late in the race looked like you had a car that was going to be able to stay in front of the 14.
Well, I think Tony said it there, that last restart. I think if I could have stayed in front of him, I'd have been able to get him. The restart before that, he spun his tires, and I felt really good about that one, and he timed it just right on that last restart, hung on my door. But, I give those guys credit. They've done a good job. But now we get to kind of pull out all the stops here. Our Aflac team, we've been hanging on. We're leading these points. We get to pull out all the stops for these last 2 races, and there couldn't be a better place to finish it than Homestead. So I think folks ought to stay tuned. It's going to get pretty exciting, and I'm just glad Tony and I are out there and we can race for this thing.
All right, Carl Edwards, and by the way, as he came down pit road, he told his crew on the radios, guys, keep your heads up. Remember, we are still the points leaders, and they got 2 to go.